And welcome, folks, to the talk show, Let the Truth Be Told. I'm your host, Pastor David. And, folks, we got a great conversation for you today. We're going to discuss the Texas runaway Democrats who are back, but the law finally got passed. And first up, we're going to talk about Mayor Brandon Johnson. There seems to be some type of problem or a psychological thing going on with the mayor. So if you ain't got nothing to do, call your friends and let them know. You're listening to Let the Truth Be Told Radio. I'm your host, Pastor David. Y'all come on in. Thank you. And welcome, folks, to the talk show, Let the Truth Be Told. I'm your host, Pastor David. First, let me give all praises to God, the great I am, and our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for making it possible for me to be here, and welcome to the show. Folks, let me say this to the American people and patriots across this country. We're getting a real bird-eye view of what actually the Democratic Party has been doing for years to our country. They have been doing subversive tactics against us. We have been voting for them, especially Black Americans who have entrusted our vote to the Democratic Party. And yet out of all of these years of being in office, we have nothing. But it wasn't until Barack Obama, who got into office, who we're going to discuss a little bit about today too as well, who wooed the Black people into thinking that the Democratic Party was the party for Black folks. He gave all these good speeches and stories and lies that he told. And the fact that Black people thought he is the first American Black president went to the polls and drove for him in record numbers. But now it has come out to see that not only Barack Obama, but the Democratic Party itself has completely come hinged because all the unsavory things that they did to the American people behind our backs, now it is in front of our face. So now we got politicians like Jasmine Crockett, Ilhan Omar, Brandon Johnson, J.B. Pritzker, Karen Bass, all of these Democratic leaders who are now being exposed for the crooks that they are still trying to deceive the American people and think that we're so stupid that we don't know what we're talking about. Or every time we contest them for things they do, they make it seem like, no, you're wrong. On today's show, I got a great panel. Let me bring my group in. Hey, Doc.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Oh, we got a new time, Miss Lucretia Hughes on our show today, a second round. And we got old Mr. Binky. What's up, Mr. Binky?
Hello, everybody.
Thank y'all. Listen, guys. Our Mayor Brandon Johnson. See, I'm trying to be so nice to him since I'm going to take his spot real soon. Brandon Johnson has continued. And the sad thing of it is, is I try to look for some positive things in him. You would think at the sub-zero rating that he has, that he would try to do something at least positive for the citizens of Chicago, especially the Black community who he lied to get into office, and now went totally in a different direction. But what Brandon is doing now is beyond comprehension. Most of the time when he speaks, you don't know what he's talking about. He is so scripted, guys, that as he continues to show himself, the less competent you can see in him, and yet now they still pushing him through as if he's doing something special. But I think it's really sad that he's way over his head in this position, and the powers that be are letting him self-destruct. What you think about that, Doc?
Well, it's one of these things because they're putting party over people. And this is the mistake that the Democratic Party continues to make, right? Because they've gone so far left. They are into socialism and communism, and they don't know how to get out of it. I mean, there's a logical way for them to get out of it, but they would actually have to agree with some of the common sense measures, being put forth by the president, and they don't want to do that. Like, that's how much hatred they have.
Lucretia, your thoughts?
He's worse than Lori Lightfoot. Listen. I have been watching these committee hearings where the people that lives in Chicago and lives up there actually cuss him out on live television. But here it is. You cannot continue to put illegal aliens over your own constituents and your own citizens and then come out this week and say, oh, by the way, your taxes are going to have to go up because I blew through your money. The stuff that the Democrats stand for, they don't stand for the kitchen table issues when mom, dad, single moms, single dads. That's not the Black community that they listen. This is not 1950 anymore, and we shall overcome. I don't need a bunch of boomers and a bunch of old folks. I call them geriatric psychopaths trying to sing hymnals when you don't even believe in God because it's not even in your platform. But that's a whole nother story.
Thank you. Mr. Binky, welcome. Give me your thoughts on this.
Well, his popularity rate up in Chicago is at 26%, so I don't have to say a whole lot. Sounds like the people in Chicago are pretty much rating him. But he's so far in debt, the Democrats up here are trying to pass a bill where they're going to charge $1.50 tax on the whole state for Amazon deliveries and pizza delivery, any kind of delivery to your home.
Yeah.
They're going to tax $1.50, and that's because of Chicago.
Well, that's one of the things that we're exploring today, because Chicago is a hellhole from this point. The Black citizens in our communities are totally, totally ruined. Brand Johnson doesn't even have a plan on what he's going to do. But, he hosts.
Question.
Go ahead.
Mr. Binky, you can't skate by that and say that Chicago is getting ready to leverage or beg the prickster $1.50 for somebody that lives in flyover country or in the rural area that ain't a burden to society. You mean you finna take one city out of that whole state and say you owe me?
Yes.
Y'all need to get out of there.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
We are.
Chicago can be fixed. Believe me. And when I become the mayor, I'm going to fix it. I've seen Chicago at its height. I grew up there, like I said before. The Black community was the Black community. We had Black entrepreneurs. We shopped at Black stores, grocery stores. Everything was Black in Chicago when I grew up. And we was very, very prominent. It wasn't until the older leaders started to pass on, and then they gave it to, I don't know what happened, but the community started to die, stayed the same. But it's just bad politicians who have tried to destroy the city. But guys, check this out. It is done by design. You know that. Chicago, New York, California, all of these cities are ran with Democratic rule. Now, they've been talking about, we're going to talk about redistricting on the second half of the show, but the Democrats have been in office in these major cities all these years, and you would think that as politicians who are sworn to uphold the Constitution, and to work for your constituents in the Black community. If wherever community you are from, your first responsibility is to the constituents who voted you in, and the mission is to do the directives that the people want you to do. But we can see now that in the Black community, Black politicians continue to go the other way. They have their own personal agenda. They're not thinking about us as citizens. They're taking our money and using it, but they're not using the money for us, just like you said, Lucretia, with the migrants. I just don't see how long they can sustain this charade of thinking that Black people aren't going to continue to voting. What are your thoughts on that, Lucretia?
My conspiracy mind said New World Order, set by design, Klaus Schwab, Uvalde, Obama, stamping your forehead or your hand. We just went through the shut date. That was the Great Reset. I'm that type of woman that said scamdemic go where? No, I'm not taking the mark of the beast, and I'm a pure blood. So when you really look at a bigger view, everything you were saying has already been projected a long time ago. And then you got to bring in the 45 rules of communist goals. Then you got to bring in 1984. So me and my conspiracy, ain't nothing conspiracy right now. I'm batting 90. So I'm not like you. This is by design. But first and foremost, you can't have a nation without borders. Second, third, and fourth, you brought in a whole army of soldier-age men and scattered them out around the inner cities. And then you also started giving our money to these people more than you gave to our people. So this is a bigger picture that I'm trying to figure out myself. But I can tell you this: I am not going to be forced to take anything I don't want to. Okay, there we go. I have to say it, pure blood.
Doc, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, and what you're saying, Lucretia, it's no longer a conspiracy theory. As Reza Islam says, it's actually a conspiracy. It's provable. And that's what replacement migration. And they planned on having at least 38 million migrants to replace just here in the United States alone. And they're already at 32 million. So they are on trajectory to do what they're doing. And they're, yeah,
before
the reason why there's so
many nose up in the air, I'm gonna validate what she said. It's called WikiLeaks, Julian Assange. It is Debbie Wasserman Schultz and John Podesta that came out over a decade ago, said, "Don't worry about the Black community. We'll give them $20 more in their welfare checks. It's time to have a taco bowl."
It is. It really is. Your thoughts, Mr. Binky?
Well, to kind of add to it here, one thing that bothered me here just recently was a bill that they passed called the Genius Act, digital assets.
Oh, yep.
It's a long conversation to get into, but that is a bill that should have never even went to Trump's desk, because that's taking over everything and digitalizing it, which means, for example, real quick, so I don't take a lot of time.
No, go ahead. We got time.
Yeah.
We got time. We finna have some fun today.
just like they tell you that, we've got to conserve, we've got global warming, we've got this and that. Digital assets is basically the mark of a beast. If you go to the gas station and you use 20 gallons of gas this week, and they're like, well, no, we've got to watch that, so let's not approve this. So when you put your card in, they deny you. This is just a probably a pathetic example of digital assets, but it's controlled. They take what anything of value or anything and digitalize it, and that means AI is going to control us.
Well,
it's about compliance and control. You're exactly right.
Yeah, but you know what, guys? As I sit back and when I first saw The Matrix, I looked at movies like that and I said, that could be us here in America, or that could be this world, because they're moving toward that. Like you said, Lucretia, Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 through 17, it talks about the marks of the beast. It talks about the chip in the hand or in the forehead. Mr. Binky, what you're saying about the digital assets, that means that I can't have a private piggy bank anymore. That means that every penny that I have has to be accounted for, so the government can control us through our finances.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a way out of it. There is a way out of it. It's called gold and silver.
Yes.
And those
Really?
are actually tangible, exchangeable means that the government cannot control.
You know what just went through my head? We won't be able to beg, borrow, steal, barter without the mark of the beast. I don't want, here's my humanly woman, which is the weakest vessel. I don't want it to be in my lifetime.
I hear you,
see it
but
coming.
we do have an option though. Like I said, gold and silver are exchangeable, and they do have something called goldbacks that are in dollar denominations, but they are actually their value in gold, and that is something that is exchangeable through different parties, and the government can't control it. See, they don't tell us about that.
Exactly.
The whole thing that we've been fed is the Constitution is an old, outdated document.
No, sir.
That is not true. As Lakeisha just
Right.
told us that,
Right.
or Dr. Nichols just said that gold and silver. There's a reason why our founders put in there to coin money. Coin money means to physically make it. It has nothing to do with this cryptocurrency or buying Bitcoin and buying all this fake stuff. And that's what it is. It's air. And somebody has put value to air, or what do they call it? Mining, I think.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I've had some friends, and we're gonna get back on topic in a minute, but we have to make the American people aware of things when they come up so that they can know. That's why this show was created. Lucretia Hughes is coming new to the network, and she'll be bringing a different perspective on the things that we're going to do. But that's why I created this show. Me and Mr. Binky was one of my first co-hosts when I started Let the Truth Be Told. I was so green on Facebook, and he followed me for a while. He was like, "Wait a minute."
There was nothing green about you.
I was just talking, and he sort of pulled it all together. It was like, "Hey, man, let's do the show." And, he was very beneficial in us, me getting in.
I did not.
When he set me up with Project 21. But I tell people that because it showed this world that in time of crisis, it didn't matter about the color of the skin. We were brothers, and like we are brothers and sisters here in a struggle that's going to affect us and our children when we are gone. And we are the last line of defense for our children, because the way that they screwed the system up, and how now that our children are not even psychologically strong enough to deal with an issue like this. So we're the last line of defense to say we have to fight. We have to make sure we set a precedent and structure, especially in the Black community, because our children are not getting married. They're just smashing and keep rashing. Okay. So we have to set precedent now. Now, we're going to do another show about the digital, because there's a lot to that people need to understand. And I'm glad you guys touched on that. But
before you do that, make sure you get a gold and silver sponsor, because like I said, that's one of the paths that's something that you need to take. Prepping 101. People want to laugh about it. No, you don't need to laugh about this stuff. You need to have 6 months supply of medicine. You need to have extra beans and rice and this and that. So if all four of us is seeing the same thing, when two or more come together in his name, all can change.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So I got a clip I want to play, because all the stuff that Brandon Johnson had did, and to the people of Chicago, Flip Red, P. Ray, Mark Carter, all the other activists who have been fighting tooth and nail in Chicago, he has basically lost his mind. He has no true conversation, because he can't even hold a press conference. And when he's asked a lot of questions, he pauses, he looks into the sky as if you said something strange to him, and then he comes back with a personal attack on reporters and still try to smooth over the question. But I want to play this clip. I want to get you guys' thoughts about that, and you guys tell me what you think about this situation.
Over the weekend, ICE arrested an illegal alien named Jose Luis Mendoza Gonzalez, who had been released by a Safety Act judge he was charged with.
Hold on for a second. For those who are watching the show, Illinois has a act called a Safety Act, which allowed criminals, no matter what, and they created for the illegals, to be able to get out of jail even if they've committed heinous crimes.
Right.
So what he's talking about is an illegal alien who killed a Chicago lady and stuffed her into this container for almost 2 months before that they caught him for the last time. So the reporter is asking him, how would he feel if that was his wife?
Concealing a body of a 37-year-old mother of two, Megan Boss.
In April, investigators found the body of 37-year-old Megan Boss in a container on Mendoza Gonzalez's property. She'd been missing for nearly 2 months.
Mendoza Gonzalez was released to his home after his arrest. The charges didn't qualify for pretrial detainment under Illinois' Safety Act.
He had her in his backyard in a trash can for 2 months and went on with his life as if nothing happened.
Megan's mom, Jennifer, was at the White House last week for a signing ceremony of an anti-fentanyl bill and told the president about her daughter's case. 3 days later, ICE agents took Mendoza Gonzalez into custody for being in the country illegally, and he's now facing deportation.
I hope that she sees that I'm fighting for her.
Jennifer says she's convinced nothing would have happened in her case if it weren't for President Trump.
I am so grateful that he stopped and looked at me when I hollered out at him, because I was starting to feel really hopeless about this case.
Megan Boss, a body that had been decapitated, abused, kept in a.
We gotta get to the question.
I have a constitutional right to ask a question.
You do.
Okay,
Ask the question.
I'm a credentialed member of the press. I do have a constitutional right to ask my question.
Absolutely, William. We want to get to your question. And
I'm trying to. If you didn't interrupt me, I would be done with my question.
this is not the first time I respectfully ask you to ask the question. Thank you.
I'd like to finish my question now. May I?
Thank you.
Megan Boss, decapitated, her body abused in a dumpster, a bleach-filled dumpster on this man's property, right?
Okay.
You have stated over and over and over again that you don't want ICE in Chicago. If that had been Stacy, if that had been your wife Stacy's body that had been decapitated, abused.
That's not an appropriate question, yeah.
It's a very real people. The people of Chicago are asking me to ask you this very specific question. Had that been your wife Stacy, would you want ICE to pick up this illegal alien?
Watch this,
I'm not going
guys.
to entertain your question.
You're not going to answer. Well, okay, my follow-up question is regarding.
I actually believe that what you're saying is quite threatening.
What?
It's quite threatening.
Really?
Can we move on to the next person here?
Excuse me, but no.
Yeah, we're going to turn this around. They are really good at that. They are really good at shifting.
Now, guys, I want to each
the
one of y'all
blame.
gonna get a chance. Okay, go finish your thoughts, Doc. Now,
Yeah,
let me say this.
I mean,
why
go ahead.
the Safety Act? They found the woman murdered, and they still let him go home.
yes, because they don't want to put them in the registry. Okay. I know somebody that lives in Chicago, and they basically, this person was walking down the street and the police were like, hey, make sure you're not doing this and that. And he was like, well, what about those people behind us? And they were pointing to people that obviously were here illegally. We're like, well, we're not going to bother them, because if we put them in the system, then we'll have to report them to ICE. Like, this is the mentality of the police in Chicago. Like, that's what they're going through. And for Brandon Johnson to circumvent the question, number one, and then try to turn it around as a threat, I mean, it's wild. It's wild.
Lucretia, your thoughts?
Just like the reporter said, those families don't have a voice. So all of the community people that was wanting to say, ask this question, you know what? That's so disrespectful. That's all I'm going to say. They didn't take an oath of office. So if you fraternize them with the enemy, step down, go to jail. I don't care if you go to Alcatraz alley. Thank God, me and my governor don't get along, see eye to eye on a lot of things. But one thing he will do is lock down Georgia and keep us safe when it's necessary. Thank God I live in a red state where it's open carry.
Well, that Safety Act, that was a bill to protect criminals. I mean,
Yes.
When you can go out and murder somebody and have the possibility of walking out without a cash bond, But if you're behind on your child support and you get stopped on the street, they'll throw you in jail and they will not let you out until you see a judge about money. This is
Yes.
so
Absolutely.
right there, for what Brandon Johnson just did is just like any other Democrat. They create a problem, then they point their finger, right? And then they turn around and put all the blame on the problem that they caused on a conservative or Republican or Trump or somebody.
Yeah.
You know, Cuomo has been talking about that today. He's sitting there running for mayor now, and now all of a sudden businesses are important. We've got to stop people from leaving. He sounded like a Republican because their policies have destroyed New York and New York everything. ICE, immigration, regulations, taxes, and now Cuomo is sitting there talking about, oh, well, we've got to encourage people to come back. Come on, please.
Now, I got a question to ask you guys quickly, and I want a quick response on this. If you think this had been a black man who did these murders, do you think that he would have walked out of jail, Lucretia? Your thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah. In y'all city? Yeah. Yes, it happens daily. I live down here in Georgia. Yeah, they got to be like, poop. And then the victims, bump the victims. This, you know what? Y'all are so rumshod. It's like Jesse Smollett and Brandon Johnson could be twins. It's like y'all have any law and order. There's no reason why I should be seeing people getting stumped in the street while you got grandmas on the porch screaming for help. And then there's no law and order. So I don't mean no harm. Thank God we have open carry and joy. Don't try it in a small town.
Doc, your thoughts. If it was a black man, you think he would be out?
No. I think they would use him as an example because unfortunately it's very discriminatory in Chicago, especially for Black Americans. And they want to utilize them. They'd rather have Black people locked up, but have all of the illegal immigrants on the street. And so we can feel sorry for them, you know, and I live here in Georgia also. The only thing that I don't like, and I'm grateful that, you know, Lucretia and I, we live kind of outside of 285. You know what I'm saying? We live outside the perimeter, OTP, but people inside the perimeter, they are suffering. They do have an issue with illegal immigration, but it's at the local level. And it's where, you know, Kemp can't necessarily touch people in the Fulton County area. You know,
but
we've
they
got
the ones that made those deals. Kemp and Stacey Abrams. They made those compromises, never to step in and do anything. And we, as being, you know, Georgians, we're supposed to sit back and look at Fulton County and run away from there. And they're wondering why the Black communities are getting gentrified. Handle that first. Handle it back like it was in the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Yes.
Even in the 90s, we had uncles and aunties doing what was necessary to keep us safe. But right now, YN could stand for white, Black, and Hispanic, because how are you having 6 to 13-year-olds out here brutalizing people? So now we call them YN. In our day, we just call them thugs. Not anymore. Times have changed.
Yeah,
Mr. Mickey, you think if it was a black man that he would be walking the streets after they found a decapitated woman on his property?
Well, this comment doesn't come straight from just me. This was an argument made about the Safety Act. The Safety Act, by argument from different people, was that it protected the Black people when they committed crimes, which encouraged the Black community to go out and commit crimes. So I would have to say, yeah, he would have gotten released because it was colored on the grounds of the argument of the Safety Act, why the act went, not in my opinion, just people talking and arguing about why the Safety Act was created, which is not my opinion.
I think that even from the Safety Act and from what I've seen over the years, I have to agree with you, Doc. If it was a black man, he would have never gotten out for killing somebody. He would have been paraded all over the nation. He would have been a monster of the monsters, and it would have put another black guy in the Black community, and it would cause more problems for our culture more than anything, because the jails are private and black men are a commodity to the jails. And I think they would want that money, and they would want, just like they do in P. Diddy and R. Kelly and Bill Cosby. And
you talking about predators? I slipped them a Molly and they didn't know it.
But
I'm not worried. I am
we
not
gonna
taking
talk
up
about
for those
that.
pervs.
But wait a minute, no, none of them. I'm just saying, Bill Cosby
Deserved it.
wanted to buy NBC. There's always an
Deserve it.
underlying
You
thing.
still
about it.
don't Mickey women and rape them. I don't care how famous you think you is. Oh, don't hand me, Donnie, please. Now you pissing on people. She was 12 years old. She had an A cup that was trying to bud. How you not know that was a child? Okay, we're gonna get to P. Diddy. He been causing trouble since Howard University.
Yep, but I agree. But I'm just saying the point.
They don't get no skates.
Bill, even though he was the time frame should have been done. Because do you know how many white hoes is out there that ain't locked up?
That's exactly what he was. If he didn't, you know what, Camilla, power to holding that down, Camilla.
But the thing of it is, my point is, black men have been getting locked up for certain things that white men walk away from the jail from.
Sound like a Chuck Berry situation to me. Sometimes don't crawl in the back seat with underage white kids.
Look, we've had black men chased down the street. I'm just saying.
But
the ones you naming now, if you want to name Emmett Till, innocent. But those hoes, no, they ain't got no good track record.
Well,
they abuse women.
You know what? We're gonna have to go to cut a show out for that. But the point that I was making is black men are always targeted, no matter what they do, and it's always a different book of justice when it comes to black and whites. And now they've changed the book again when it comes to illegal. Because I just don't see how any judge with common sense would let this guy go anywhere after they found another citizen in bleach with a head cut off.
The black cannibal. You didn't hear about the black cannibal that is so crazy. They released him without bond. This dude ate a woman. Type it in. Black cannibal that literally. They can't do nothing with him, so they're gonna put him back out in the public.
She almost busted a joke when she said he ate a woman.
Is he from Haiti though?
He really ate a woman. This is on my page. Go look at it. No, he's just a regular black guy from anywhereville. And he looked
because some of the people from Haiti and Nigeria, like they eat people. Like cannibalism is their thing. I'm just saying, and they're amongst us. And they might have melanated skin, but they're not black Americans.
If people are coming up missing, then you ain't gonna find them, and he's on somebody's plate. But that's another story. That's another show. But the point that I'm making is this, guys. I'm gonna finish playing this clip with Brandon Johnson. Then I'm gonna play the clip that was aired the other day, and then we're gonna talk about that one.
You to behave in such a way, we'll just make sure that we take the appropriate steps. You are threatening and provocative.
This is a question that the real people of Chicago are asking.
William, please give me the microphone. We ask for respect. We give it to you. I expect the same.
This is a very serious question.
We understand. Please give me the microphone.
From the adage of
I do not want to have this conversation. Please have more respect for the office and for yourself right now.
This is a very serious question that the real people of Chicago are asking me to ask.
And I am seriously asking you to show respect for this office and give me the microphone.
What about the respect for the real people of Chicago who want this question asked and answered?
We are done, sir. Please give me the mic. Thank you.
Now, guys, I want your comment on that. Now, look into the people of Chicago. They noticed when people were down at the city council meeting, Brandon Johnson, they cut their mics off, they attacked them. Anytime they asked a question and forced an answer out of this guy, these were the type of tactics that they were using against the reporters, and nothing ever get done. Your thoughts? Give me you up first, Binky.
Oh God. Well, we experienced. This is a good topic for me because I was involved with some of this. These parents went to school board meetings, and school boards are more or less they may not identify as a Democrat, but they are liberal. And parents were going to school board meetings, and they were expressing their displeasure over many things, which were child porn books that were being put in libraries around schools. They were expressing their concerns about masks and vaccinations and kids being put in the room. Okay. So when this finally come down to it and all this complaining from the people at their local school boards was making headlines, the Democrats in Illinois, I'm talking Illinois, decided they're going to come up, and they created laws to shut down the people that were voicing their opinions. And they made a law, and they told the schools and public libraries on the child porn books that if you remove these books, you will lose partial funding. Now, wait a minute here. Just like that reporter was being shut down because they didn't want to hear the truth, this has been going on in Illinois, and I'm sure other states for a long, long time. It's got to stop.
Doc, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, and it's truly unfortunate, but this is their playbook, right? But I think this needs to really ignite a fire under people, especially in Chicago. You need to run, and you need to
I'm gonna
run
run.
strongly. Like, I know you're running for mayor, but there's other people that really do need to run as a slate, as you know, like, hey, we're running aldermen here, 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 and here to flip these seats to really be here for the people, because for far too long that we've just seen in the past 4 years, and it's been going on longer than that, right? The people have really been oppressed in the city of Chicago, and to your point, Binky, just all over the country. And it's really time for us to take our country back one city at a time.
Lucretia?
They don't stand nothing for holy. They don't have any more. I don't know what they Number one, he had tears in his eyes.
Yes.
The disrespect of treating him like he's an underling or nobody. I am over. I don't know when this flipped. I remember growing up and journalists asked hard, tough questions. Now it's the word salad. They straight up lied like we ain't grown. We grown folks. Do they not know we see them? And then we can't ask questions. So it's frustrating. So there, and I could feel the pain of that reporter and what he was the voice for so many people that didn't have one, and his voice was shut down like he was nothing.
Well, you know, this is the tactic that started under the Barack Obama administration, the word salad, to try to stop you from talking, to overtalk you, to turn your mic down. I was on Roland Martin's show, and I experienced it firsthand when I started to really shut him down. They cut my mic off, and then, you know, he was flipping and flapping and going on. He liked boys or whatever. That seemed like everybody in the Democratic Party gay.
Okay.
And so, this tactic that's being shown, and that's why I'm showing this. So when people go to the polls, they got to know one thing. First of all, Doc, you said something important. A friend of mine called me this morning, and he ran for governor of the state of Illinois before. His name is T.O. Hardeman. And I was urging him. I said, hey, man, come on. You know, think about running for governor again and let us make this move, because when I win the mayorship and when I'm on the 5th floor, I'm going to need other politicians who think like us that can really have common sense to be able to move this dreadlock and this deadlock at the city council. So I'm urging other people, you know, to contact me, 708-663-5262, so that we can build this slate and run as a slate so the people got good common sense people in play. Now,
I think you got a lot of help up there, because these people that you're seeing at these committee hearings, school board meetings, you know, all these people that has been voicing their opinions, call those people. Thus, your boots on the ground right there.
Oh, yeah, we've already, as a matter of fact, yesterday, I met with my exploratory committee, campaign managers. I got quite a few people from across the country. Kevin McGarry, he's going to be my campaign manager. We got great people, you know, y'all. So we're going to give it one hell of a run, and we're just going to go out and we're going to educate the people about what their rights are and make sure that we get money for our schools, because Black people need to be brought back to a place where we can be self-sufficient for ourselves.
You got money for your school, allocate it for exactly what it's for. So stop wasting it on illegal, stop wasting it on frivolous stuff, start picking up the trash, start going out there, let grandmas be grandmas on the street again, and then allocate that money, all those billions that's supposed to be going to the school, and give it back to the schools.
Well, that's going to be my plan when the national budget is done. Usually there's anywhere between $300 billion in the national budget for the Black communities across America. But we don't see that money because of the politicians, the Black politicians who are part of the NGOs, the fraternities and sororities, the Divine Nine, those type of politicians are trying to create a new race on our planet in every state behind the scenes with the Democratic Party. And so that's why it's being so blown up in Chicago now. We can see it because most of all of our legislators belong to these special NGOs and different groups, and they're stealing that money. Once it comes in, Lucretia, you're right. There's money there, but if you got Black politicians that are gatekeepers taking the money and never getting to the Black community, that's why we're in this condition. Now,
Hold on now. Wait. Stop blaming all Black people. Y'all got some whiteys over there on your commission.
Oh, most definitely.
Too. So
most definitely. Yeah. But the point that I'm making is this. You would think that as a Black American, and some of these people who are in office, they saw the struggle of Black people from where we came from. They saw us from the cotton fields, the plants, all of that, migrate to the cities, pick up by their bootstraps, build their families, start businesses. These young people who have went off to college, who mom and daddy paid their way, who worked long hours to educate them, are the ones who are in legislation now, but they don't think that they Black. So then they go along with the program of the Democratic Party and the Republican Party to make it think that Black people are not deserving of anything because they didn't get a college education like they did. But that's going to be another show. I want to play this clip because this reporter, like you said, Lucretia, he was so upset. I could almost see the tears in his eyes too. So he had another bite at the apple with Brandon Johnson. And folks, believe me, it's a crying shame. This is what happened.
Johnson, I apologize. A couple of weeks ago, I asked you if you would cooperate with ICE if your wife Stacy's body was.
Hey, we just gotta get to the question.
Well, I'm making an apology, and
everyone else has questions, Stacey.
And if it was your wife Stacy's body that had been concealed and abused by Jose Luis Mendoza Gonzalez, the illegal alien, you said that you felt threatened by the question, that it scared you, and I do apologize. Over the weekend, President Trump said that you were incompetent, called you an incompetent mayor, called you an incompetent man. Almost on cue, 1,000+ violent teenagers rampaged through your neighborhood, your adopted neighborhood of Austin that you and your wife Stacy moved into from Elgin, and assaulted police officers, multiple shootings. A woman was shot in the back multiple times, who sadly passed. My question to you is simply this. Do you, your neighbors in Austin, do contact me and they tell me that they don't feel threatened by my questions. They feel threatened by your anti-curfew policies that are leading to these out-of-control violent teenagers murdering people.
Thanks,
What do you say to your neighbors? What do you say to those neighbors in Austin who feel threatened by your policies?
Thank you for staying awake during our presentation. I know you have worked hard to get the necessary help that's needed.
Really?
And whatever condition in which that you are dealing with, I'm glad that you are getting some help. So that
Is that honestly your answer to your neighbors who have been, a neighbor of yours was shot in the back multiple times?
So we are addressing community safety. That's my top priority, and we will continue to do that.
Hold up, Lucretia. I know you want to say something. Y'all got a moment to.
Wow. We turned this totally into are you okay? Like he totally turned that around into are you okay moment. What? Okay, I'll let Lucretia
go ahead, Chris.
I wish my grandkids would try something like that. I would snatch not in they, you know what, thousand YNs just running rampant. Ain't no way. Ain't no. Oh Lord, I don't know how y'all gonna clean that up. National Guard, maybe try. Y'all. I don't even know what to say. I feel like a grandma with a belt. They need to be whooped. I can guarantee you, ain't nobody picked up a fly swatter and went upside their head. They don't know how to pick a switch. They ain't got no accountability. They ain't got no structure. They ain't got no stability. They ain't got no foundation. They ain't got no God. What? Thousands of young between the age of 6 to 16 is out there running. You mean you shot somebody in the back? Ain't no way. I can't stand up for that.
Yeah, where are the parents? These people, they're acting like they're being raised by wolves. I mean, where are the parents?
Well,
We never talk about the parents in these situations.
We gonna talk about that. Bink, your thoughts on this? Well, see, the point that I'm making this, who watching this show, can you see the look on Brandon Johnson's face?
Can we call him a fool? Because, you know, I think he's a fool.
That comment right there should have ended his career. Totally.
Yes, it should have ended his career. Because, go ahead, Bink. Then I'm gonna respond. Go ahead.
No, it's no big deal. It's just that comment and the idiocy of that comment. That guy shouldn't even be allowed to be a janitor, let alone a mayor.
Right.
And I hope like heck he don't have kids.
He got some.
Oh
the
my
point,
God.
and guys, think about this. He asked him one thing, and then the Democrats and their thought pattern is you attack the person that asked the question. He went after him and asked him, was he seeking medical attention because they know he's crazy or you've been sleeping through. I couldn't understand where was he going with. We're gonna play a little bit more.
Dave, people need to understand. Reporters like him speaking for people, that is considered a redress of grievance.
Yes.
He has every right to sit there and ask questions no matter what they are.
But what they're doing is that anybody that has any common sense approach, they're going to attack them and attack who they are, because that's the same thing they're doing with Trump. Even though Trump is building the country back, everything that he does right, they complain about it, but they're not talking about the work. They're just attacking him personally. And that's what Brandon Johnson just did. Attack this reporter personally about his insanity. If he's insane, his sanctity, you need help, are you sleeping? And yet he's the one that's sitting there looking into the sky, looking like he has no soul. Let's finish this off, guys.
Yes, my follow-up to you is simply this. My follow-up to you is simply this. You're the one who's having panic attacks. You're the one who is not keeping the people of Chicago safe.
All right, we're going to go to the next question.
What do you say to Donald Trump? How did you feel when Donald Trump called you incompetent? What did you feel as a human?
You just addressed this. Thanks.
Please answer that question, if you would.
Okay, fine. Since you are begging, I do believe that Donald Trump is.
On behalf of the people of Chicago, I do ask questions.
So
that is true.
Answer that. I do appreciate you begging. So I would just say it like this: that the president has always been intimidated by the intellectual prowess of black men, and so of course he would speak in those petite and puerile terms because he's small.
Guys, what is he talking about?
I don't know. I can't even look at the camera. Dave said, "Fix your face," and I'm just.
But what is he talking about? He asked him a question about Trump. Go ahead, Doc. I know you want to get on that. Go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. It is divert and attack. And that's all they truly have, because they really cannot answer a straightforward question. That is just what the Democrats are doing. That is where they are at right now.
Lucretia?
Me?
Yeah, you. That's your name, man.
He had like a mini Barack Obama.
I didn't hear you.
Uh-oh.
You froze. Boy, the enemy.
He said, every black man I've ever dealt with in my life either was military, black, that seemed like a weak person. That's a weak excuse. And you always falling back to the same narrative, skin color. What blackness got to do with it? Stop. Oh,
right.
He's a weak man. He's a weak man.
It's unfortunate. But
He's just a puppet. He has no content. He's just a puppet. That's all he is.
Well, you know, my thought is this is all about the throwing a rock and hiding your hand.
He's not going to debate you. He is not going to debate you.
No.
He's not going to be on the stage with you and answer questions. It's not going to happen.
So to the politicians who are in office, who is going to run against me for mayor of Chicago, the first thing that I'm going to do, if we are to debate, because they don't want to debate me, I'm going to ask security to make citizens arrest of all the politicians that's on the stage with me who have been in office for 20 and 30 years and done nothing.
You about to go viral. Okay.
It's time for politicians who have been in office to be removed. And so if you come on the stage where I'm at, Brandon Johnson, if your ass get on the stage where I am at, I'm going to have people to arrest you and make a citizen's arrest because of all the money you've stole, all the lies you told, how you brought illegals here as citizens of the United States of America. I will arrest your ass myself. They need to be put in jail.
Did he really close down a couple of black precinct schools and open them up primarily only for illegals? Did he really do that?
He closed one down in two. Lori Lightfoot closed. Lori Lightfoot, the schools were closed. Lori Lightfoot paid all the aldermen, and that's why I say these aldermen got to go too. Lori Lightfoot paid the aldermen. Now, after I was brought into this situation about the first school opening up in Chicago on the South Side, I called Lori Lightfoot's office. I called the alderman office. I think her name is Jeanette Taylor. Miss Taylor called me and said, "We want your help, Pastor." I organized with some people that was ready to storm the Capitol and say no. I never heard back from her. The next thing I heard was her and Lori Lightfoot made a deal and they opened up the school. So that's why I'm saying any politician that's in the city of Chicago or anywhere else in this country who took an oath on the Bible to uphold the laws of the Constitution for the American people, and I prove that they have not done that, should be arrested. And if you debate me, Brandon, your ass is leaving in cuffs, okay?
Hey, David, didn't Chicago get a $350 million grant during this COVID shutdown?
Well, let me say this. President Trump, coming right out of COVID, issued, I think, $380 million just for the black community on the South Side and the West Side. The money was never given to the black community, but it was thrown in the mix with the COVID money. And then they tried to figure out, because they reappropriated the money and put it into an emergency fund. Nobody knew that the money was there, okay? And then once that they got the money in the emergency fund, Lori Lightfoot was put out of office. Brandon got in, and Brandon started cutting the money up. He took $47 million first to open up the place for the illegals, gave them money, gave them houses. He took that money and did that. And then after that, the rest of the money just disappeared. And now, one more thing before we go on a little bit more further. To the people of Chicago, you are facing a $1.2 billion deficit. Now, let me tell you the truth about that $1.2 billion. At the end of COVID, probably about 6 months ago, Brandon Johnson received $1.7 billion of COVID money. Remember, Doc?
Mm-hmm.
$1.7 billion. And I told you then, I said, that $1.7 billion was going to be stolen. So that money got thrown in with everything else. When Trump, and what screwed them was, when Trump cut that money off from them, they were unable to cover the $1.7 billion. And I said then, taxes is finna go up.
It ain't your fault.
Wow. But listen to this. Now he's saying $1.3 billion is missing. So that's what the deficit is. The point that I'm making is they took $1.7 billion and put it into their pocket and passed it on to the American people and the people of the state of Illinois. Now,
yeah,
folks,
and the teachers union as well, because remember the teachers, the teachers, they got laid off.
Yes.
A lot of them.
Yes.
And they were the very ones championing all of the things that Brandon Johnson was doing, and he messed them over, all of them.
Didn't they have teachers in schools that didn't even have kids?
Yep, and degrees. On the DEI, and I'm glad President Trump got rid of it. That's how all the homosexuals were able to get into schools to teach our children that didn't have degrees. They came in under the DEI program, which had allowed them to come in because they didn't have to teach a curriculum. A lot of them came in to get their student loans paid after being in there a couple of years. This is how wicked it was during COVID because Joe Biden said, well, I'm going to freeze your loans, but I'm going to open up the schools for all the homosexuals that y'all can teach the kids about homosexuality. And so once DEI ended, they left the school system in droves.
I was disgusted to see the Democratic Party push homosexuality. I was disgusted when they wanted to make maps a thing, minor attractive person. I'm sitting here like, is anything godly about that party anymore? This is not my mom's party. This is not a blue dog Democrat. No. So we can't look at the Democrat Party like that anymore. Any black person at this point that rep that set, I don't trust you because you can't trust yourself. You don't have no God because they don't have God. So how you representing a whole party that don't believe in the same person that you do? I don't get it. That's one thing that I said, absolutely not. Number 5, 7, and 8. When Barack Obama, yes, I voted for him for the first time. But when he started pushing more for the gay folks, and like I said, got him in my family before somebody say, you homophobe, stop playing. And I just have morals. So, I said no after that. I want to, when I was talking to my campaign manager last night, I know that there's some questions going to be coming up regarding me and how I feel about the LGBT community. And this was my answer to that. I don't have a problem with LGBT at all. As a matter of fact, this weekend, I'll be going to Orlando, Florida to celebrate my niece's birthday, and she married a woman. Okay, so let's kill that right now. The problem that I have with the LGBT is you can live on this earth and you got to answer to God for what you do. But don't force it on people. Thank you.
Don't chase with children. Don't make it seem to where everybody have to worship you because it is an unnatural act.
Can I say leave the kids alone? Leave
them alone.
Leave our kids alone.
But more importantly, the fact of the matter is this: God only created 2 genders in the world. That was a man and a woman. Yeah. And so nobody
has to say this out loud. Okay, you finna say this out loud.
I'm saying it. There is
they still go by them, theirs, and we's. That
I don't care what they go by.
Legions are demons.
I'm going by what God did and what God said.
Amen.
He created 2 genders, and that's it. If you're gay, that's you and God, and I ain't got nothing to say about it. But again, don't force it into our lives. Now, there's a lot of gays who want to live their lives, who want to deal with their own personal stuff, and they hate the fact that those gays for groomers have been the ones who have pushed this whole agenda across the world, like Barack Obama. And so that's why everything is falling back in Barack's face now on what he's doing and what he's saying. Folks, I want to get a video ready for us for the second half of the show. We're going to talk about Jasmine Crockett and what President Obama have said regarding the redistricting. Hang on for just a second. Y'all can go and chime in on that if you want to.
Yeah,
I think I wanted to. Street looks like in South Dallas, where Jasmine Crockett represents.
The best part about Jasmine Crockett's district is free public bathrooms. Think about it. That's where your tax dollars are going.
Y'all thoughts on that? Go ahead.
She's from the street.
Well, she's not. She's not a hood rat. She's like a pseudo hood rat. She's a faux hood rat, and that's weird, right?
Why would you do that?
Because she was paid to do it. Okay, she has a net worth of $9 million. She makes less than $200,000 a year, and she's been in Congress less than 6 years. Somebody paid her to do that. They propped her up to do that.
Wow.
But the point that I'm making is that I'm going to play a little bit more of this video because when we talked, Doc, a few weeks ago, we talked about how Ms. Crockett, with her constituents, was suffering. This, what I'm showing you today, is her district.
Of the day. And how the migrants are just everywhere. They do everything they want to do. And they're outside of real businesses, actually taking up the sidewalk to where customers can't even get to the business. And unfortunately, Jasmine Crockett's district is no different. I want you guys to see exactly what's going on in TX30. Watch.
Here's what your average street looks like in South Dallas, where Jasmine Crockett represents.
The best part about Jasmine Crockett's district is free public bathrooms. Think about it. That's where your tax dollars are going.
Brown New Deal.
Man, someone was having a cookout right here. Pan and the charcoals are ready to go. Jasmine, why did you invite us to the cookout? Look, here's the pans. And here's the rest of the cookout right here.
This
Here's
is
an
her
elementary school
district.
in the heart of Jasmine Crockett's district. Let's go ahead and check on the environment in which these kids are learning. You have burned down buildings in every direction. Nothing's open. FDJT has been tagged on this building. Everything is just blight. Everything is been destroyed. Empty booze bottles sitting in the parking lot. Did Jasmine Crockett write FDJT? Maybe that's her contribution here. Decline is a choice. None of those businesses are open. All of them have been shuttered and burned to the ground. This is where the students are learning. It's bad.
It's really bad.
So that's the big school in Jasmine Crockett's district. You can see the playground and everything like that. There are kids playing on it. Here's the walkway to school in Crockett's district.
What?
This is what the children have to walk through
Anybody
every
could get
single day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many booze bottles there are, how many beer cans, and how much junk. Just a reminder that it's people who represent districts like these that want to bring you the Green New Deal. They're the ones who call themselves environmentalists. Remember that.
So as you can see, Jasmine Crockett's district is nasty, it's dirty, it's trashy, okay? Literally, trash is on the street.
Okay, guys, your thought on her district.
Well, the breakdown of her district, there's actually 47% Hispanic, whether they are documented or undocumented. Okay. And then 40% Black. So the majority of her district are in particular minorities. And unfortunately, in minority communities, especially ones like that, they drive everything down systematically so they can come behind, gerrymander, and buy those properties up for pennies on the dollar. So unfortunately, this district is being driven down as much as they possibly can so they can get the governmental money, so they can get the supplementing to prop it up. And this is, in my opinion, it is still a part of the replacement migration plan. It's all falling together.
Lucretia, your thoughts?
To me, you know what she sounds like? A bougie, fake hood chick. This is what she just said. Jasmine Crockett said she'll run for governor if she loses her congressional seat. Well, that's gone anyway. Oh, okay, back to this. She said redistricting, she believes she will win, quote unquote. I ain't finna let these racist white folks run me off. I'm from the streets, y'all. I'm from the streets. They gonna see that, believe that. Girl, sit your ass down.
Vicky, your thoughts on it.
You ain't gonna
TikTok hood rat.
We want your thoughts.
If the people of that town can see what's going on in that town and they keep voting in the same people that let that town stay that way, that's their fault.
Yeah.
They need to have some morals. They need to start looking at who they're voting for, what they're voting for, and what they're getting when they vote. And if they don't do that, I ain't blaming government. I'm blaming the people.
Yeah, because the House can get you the money, right? The Senate can get you the money, but your mayors, your commissioners, your councilmen, those are the people that actually execute the plan on the ground. And to Binky's point, it needs to be fixed.
Yep. I want to play a little bit more of this, and then we're going to hear what Ms. Crockett got to say about that, okay?
Crockett is supposed to be what the Democrats say they are, which is the best, right? And they only want the best. They're giving their constituents the best. This is not your best. Jasmine Crockett is what every other Democrat is, a liar. And this trash just proves it.
Here's what a sidewalk looks like in South Dallas. And here's what stores and shopping centers look like in South Dallas.
Never seen so many downed power lines in my life. It's like the broken windows theory. When you let one window get broken, you're going to let every window get broken because criminals think that they can get away with it. And Jasmine Crockett and people who represent her ideology have gotten away with destroying South Dallas. Look at this once thriving business, this once thriving area. And this is every single business that we see in the district. It's all a bombed out ruin of itself. It's a total collapsed society. What happened here? Well, it's pretty obvious. The progressive politics of Jasmine Crockett, single party rule that has decided to vote against commerce, against the free market, and against safety for the people here.
Right.
It's pretty sad that kids have to grow up like this. We're hoping for better. We're hoping the kids in Jasmine's district get to grow up like her someday, right?
While Jasmine is being an abusive tyrant in Washington, D.C., her district suffers. A man who has lived here 63 years explains the changes as he sits at an abandoned gas station.
Carl, how we doing, man? You've been here 63 years?
63 damn years.
You've seen a lot.
Man, I've seen a lot of help. I've seen a lot of people pass away.
Too much violence?
Yeah. So I'm used to it, you know. I can walk through, like all elderly people, they kind of scared, walk to the store and stuff, because these young kids be out here, selling that shit, man. It just, just things will change, man.
Got for the better or for the worse?
For the worse.
Yeah.
It ain't getting no better.
That's too bad to hear. What would you like to see fixed, Carl?
I'd like to see the city get fixed. The whole city, man, Because, like I said, it's wild, doing drive-bys and shooting and all that type of stuff, man.
The people living in South Dallas were kind to us. They were warm, genteel, and welcoming. They had some Southern charm. They've seen better days, and they deserve better than a code-switching theater kid playing a hood rat representing them.
The Jasmine Crockett story is all too common in American politics. Somebody who's lying to you, defrauding you, stealing from you, leaving your neighborhoods looking like this. They take the power and they leave you with nothing. There's no substitute for this. Spending on the block here in Dallas, Jasmine Crockett's district.
Guys, your thoughts on that? Remember, Doc, when I told you, I said, because I've been to Dallas before, I told you, I said, her Crockett's zone is just horrible. Now we see it firsthand. Your thoughts, Doc?
Yeah. What's sad is that this is consistent with most Democratic districts and cities. It looks like a bomb went off. And then when you address that and you bring it up to them, it's like, what are you talking about? Our city is great. No, it's not. No, it is not. It is worse than a third world country because you propped it up with government. It has no commerce because you won't police, right? There's no safety. And so people flee. And then it's just left abandoned. It's like, who are you even representing? Who's left? The people that can't leave, right? It's crazy.
Your thoughts, Lucretia?
You talking about the ghetto. That's what I thought.
Come on.
It's just the ghetto. It's just the hood and the way. That's what it is. So when you want to do better, you will do better. And then you will do better. So it's not shocking because they either go, I don't know how to explain it. This is generational curse.
What you think, Binky?
Well, what I seen there, and being as I'm older than probably everybody in here, what you're seeing is what was once great has now through progress been destroyed.
Yeah.
I mean, everything that you've seen there being deteriorating away, burnt down, the garbage, all this, that's not progress. That's recession. Yeah. You're regressing. You're not progressing. You're regressing. And if that's what people think they want to vote in, that's what they're going to get. And if it don't get stopped, and, as we were talking earlier, Democrats like to create a problem and then throw the ball down and blame it on somebody else. Well, that again, that's the people. We're not educating ourselves. We're not seeing what's going on. We're not looking at reality here. And we've got to start looking at reality.
I want to say this to the Black communities across America. When you walk out of your door, when you go back to your communities, when it used to be thriving, those used to be businesses in the Black community, stores, factories. When you go outside and under the Democratic leadership, all of these things died. Her whole community is dead. The point that I'm making is, remember when Randy was on the show, he said he was in Chicago and he hadn't been home in a while, but nothing had changed and things had got worse. This is a mirror of what you just seen across the country in the Black community. No businesses, everything is run down, no activity, no job opportunities. There's no economic development in these Black communities. And it's a shame that Jasmine Crockett, she did not grow up like this.
Nope.
At all. And so how can you sit back and tell Black folks who elected you that you a ghetto person and you're only acting like you're from the ghetto? And yet, even though in your acting, you're supposed to represent the people and you're supposed to be rebuilding these communities for the future, but you're doing what she's doing, which is nothing, and continue to lie as if she's from the streets, and that's a lie. Your thoughts on that, Doc, while I cue this next video up so we can get out of here.
Yeah, that's why I call her a TikTok politician, right? It's all about, it's really all about the visual, but there's no substance. And that's what most of these politicians currently are trying to do. And it needs to stop because they're damaging people and they don't think people see them for who they are. I don't know if anybody remembers that movie. It's, it had Roddy Piper in it. And when he would put on the glasses,
they have eyes. Yes.
Right. That's what we're going through right now. And these politicians really think that people are still blind and they're just not.
Well, guys, I'm going to try to check this clip out. This is Jasmine Crockett. You know, they ran off to Illinois, but they got back and they got this bill passed. But this is her ideology. Now, we just saw her district. So this is what she's saying.
Welcome back. Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett telling CBS News Texas today that she is considering running in a different district than the one she's currently serving. That comes, of course, as Texas Republicans are doing the big push here through congressional map changes. ION Politics reporter Jack Fink found out why during an interview you had this afternoon with the Congresswoman. Live from Dallas, give us an update on what that conversation was about today.
Well, Doug, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett accuses Republicans of intentionally drawing her home out of her district, District 30, under these newly proposed congressional maps. And as a result, she says she's now considering running in the newly drawn 33rd congressional district, where her home will be if these new maps are approved by Texas Republicans.
I'm debating about whether or not I would run where they put me, which is where I live. Yeah.
In 33.
In 33.
Congresswoman Crockett has served in the 30th congressional seat since January 2023, and her district is mostly in Dallas County, but also has some in Tarrant County. While the boundaries of her district would change, it's still considered a Democratic majority seat and will have a majority of African Americans. Here's where it gets tricky. The current 33rd congressional district is served by Democrat Mark Vesey and is in both Tarrant and Dallas counties. Under the proposed new map of the 33rd district, it would only be in Dallas County and include Congresswoman Crockett's home. Congressman Vesey lives in Tarrant County, and he would not live in this district if it's approved. This will become a Hispanic majority district and will remain a majority for Democrats as well. And while Democratic Congresswoman Julie Johnson serves in the current 32nd congressional district, which includes Dallas County, under the newly drawn 32nd congressional district, she would also not live there, and also it would become a Republican majority district because it will stretch out to East Texas. Congresswoman Crockett told me today she does not want to move from her home. Members of Congress are not required to live in their districts. They only have to be a resident in the state in which they serve. Crockett said she wants to have a conversation with her current constituents and her Democratic colleagues in Congress about the situation they face.
Does Mark Vesey fit better into 30 now because it does have some Tarrant or not? And does Julie just kind of fit better at running in 33 than me? And is my district going to be okay with me running and being on this fixed government income and therefore not buying a home in the newly constructed 30? Obviously, I don't have to live there under federal rules.
Right.
But I mean, some people want somebody that lives in the district. And then obviously I want to talk to my colleagues and say what kind of makes sense so that at least hopefully two of us have the best shot at going back.
Okay, guys, your thoughts on that so we can get out of here. Go ahead, Doc.
Again, what world do they live in? It's like your district is a dumpster fire, ma'am. It under Democratic, you know what I'm saying? Under Democratic authority, it is a true dumpster fire. And people are still supposed to vote you in like, hey, let's mail it in. 2 of us can still get in. They'll be lucky, in my opinion, in the state of Texas because they've shed such a light on all of their demonic behavior in their authority. I don't think any of them are going to win, honestly.
Lucretia?
She got a lot of wigs.
Okay. Just coming with it, the bob, right?
That's the first thing. That's the only thing I kept saying.
Well, she got money. She got the taxpayers' money.
I can't listen to her. She's so fake. I don't like fake people, and you can read her countenance.
You can see it.
I can't. Ugh.
Okay, Mr. Binky, what's your thoughts?
Well, whatever district she ends up in, all I can say is run. Get away as fast as you can. That's it.
Well, you know, I see what I see. I don't think she's going to get it in office again. She had when you see what her district in South Dallas looks like, and we just saw that with our own eyes. Why would somebody in another district who are fighting to try to save what they got to keep their area from becoming like hers, or if it's not already like that, why would they vote her in when she has not done the work? And that's what I mean. Politicians do not do the work. It reflects in our city. It's reflecting in our schools. It's reflecting in our lives. And that's why we have to get rid of the Democratic Party. We have to monitor the Republicans. But more importantly, we need to get our own party that can represent us as Black people at the table that are real Black people so that we can rebuild our communities. Mr.
Hey,
Binky,
can we get that back in church first? Well, can we get that back in church and thank God for what Trump just did, allowing politics to finally be put back in the church where it needed to be in the first place. So our Black Robe Brigades, maybe, just maybe, Pastor, you need to start that back up. So if y'all made changes in the 1800s, 1700s, then that Black Robe Brigade needs to start making changes in 2025.
Well, we've already started. I'm part of the Mordecai Project out of New York on the First America Warehouse. And that's why I ran for mayor, is because with the Mordecai Project, we're asking men and women of God across the country, how can we expect for those who are demonic to do righteous work by the people? And so it was Nebuchadnezzar, Daniel was into politics, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego was in politics. There are so many Christians who was in politics. David, they were able to do righteous work and the people prospered. Solomon, they did righteous work. And these were people who knew God. And so we have to think about Joseph. So when they say you can't mix politics with the church, that's true, because it's up to God's people to stand up and make politics run right by being invested into it and making sure righteousness is done. Your last words, Mr. Binky. We got to get out of here.
Sure, get rid of the white guy first. All I can say to people is, if you want things to get better, it starts with you. If you can't look at yourself and be comfortable with yourself before you make decisions, you're not helping yourself or anybody else.
Doc?
Yeah, it's just a lot of these politicians, they want to represent, but they don't want to be responsible for who they represent. And those are the things that truly need to change. You know, that's why I did start the Redemption Party, and you can check us out at usaredemptionparty.com, because we are looking for servants of the people, not politicians.
Lucretia, your last words.
Just teach the people, like Mr. Binky says, it starts at home. It starts internally. And we're supposed to be the guardian of our bloodlines and our children. So it starts at home.
Guys, thank you for being on the show. We'll get together, and welcome Latricia to Let the Truth Be Told Radio Network. We're going to have a ball with you, because we're going to have some good things to talk about to educate the people. I'll see you guys. Have a great weekend. Folks, I want to thank you for tuning in to the show. It's always a pleasure to have a great panel like we had today. And I want people to know this. We cannot continue to allow politicians like Jasmine Crockett, Brandon Johnson, governors just like Governor Holcomb in New York, Tim Walz in Minnesota, the J.B. Pritzker here in Illinois. We have awakened, especially the Black community across this country. It's time for us to wake up. It's time for us to get back involved. It's time for God's people to stand up so that we can get this country back on track. My last words is this. And in closing, I want the American people and patriots across this country to know this. We need to support what President Trump is doing, because all the Democrats have left is identity politics. They got everybody wanting to hate Trump by using his name in such a derogatory way. But think about this. Think about the last 4 years, and think about what President Trump has done in less than a year. He's bringing this country back to respectability. Our economy is great. Our culture, he's bringing it back to where in this country that there's only two genders, that's a man and a woman, and that's what God created. So when we look at politics, we have to look at the political leaders who are doing righteous things. And what I've seen from President Trump, he's doing righteous things for this country. He's not perfect, but he's doing one thing that I know. He's making this country great again. God bless you. We'll see you next week. Enjoy your weekend. And on Sunday, Moments of Truth, hosted by Pastor David L. Ira Jr. I love you. God bless you, and God keep you. And we'll see you on Sunday.